In the gate, and they're off. Little Raymond just to graze. Roxy's Bad Boy coming through along the inside, joined by Maul, and Big Bill is close up down at the rail. Little Raymond just took up and is well out of it suddenly, as Maury Wills has taken the 5th spot. It's a gap of 3 to the 2 trailers, Omnificent and High King. Down the backstretch, just to graze. Has the lead past the half-mile pole. Roxy's Bad Boy presses the issue second. Maury Wills itching up on the outside. Maul between horses, and Big Bill down at the rail. It's another 3 back to High King, Little Raymond, and Omnificent. Midway on the far turn, Roxy's Bad Boy takes the lead. Puts a neck on just to graze with Maury Wills looming large on the outside. And here's Maury Wills coming to tackle. High King picking it up out in the center of the course. There's 1 furlong left. Maury Wills shifting about just a bit, trying to get by just a graze. And on the outside, Little Raymond, Big Bill is in it too. Driving finish. Far outside, Little Raymond is coming fast. Does he have time? Here is the line. Maury Wills held on in a desperate finish. Little Raymond was flying. Big Bill was right there along with Just a Graze. And they're off. Captain Sparrow and Mischief's Causeway duel through the opening stages with Spiritus not far behind, racing in 3rd. Alongside Horizon Wildcat, then it's Broadway Union's 3 deep, and Cupid's Crusader with no early speed is last. It's Captain Sparrow to the half-mile pole, leading just under a length to Mischief's Causeway. That pair followed by Horizon Wildcat. Outside of him is Broadway Unions, and Spiritist is down on the rail, 4 lengths off the lead, just steadied and dropped back sharply. Another 2 back to Cupid's Crusader. They're coming toward the quarter pole with Captain Sparrow maintaining a slender lead over Mischief's Causeway. They're joined now by Broadway Unions, who's picking it up nicely, and Broadway Unions takes second. They're at the top of the stretch. Captain Sparrow, the leader. Horizon Wildcat has come alive, and Broadway Unions is next inside the 8th pole. Captain Sparrow, Horizon Wildcat 2 lengths back and trying hard. Then Broadway Unions 3rd. It's Captain Sparrow who keeps on going. Captain Sparrow and Ricky Gonzalez score easily. 2nd went to Horizon Wildcat. Broadway Unions was 3rd. He lights them to the outside. And they're off. Lady Lightsome bounces out swiftly. Sakura Flavor is up close with Love. Exington comes through on the inside, and Exington is able to get to the front and establish a clear-cut advantage. Lady Lightsome is tugging a bit and is a long shot 2nd. They are followed by With Love in 3rd and Sakura Flavor 4th, then Church Lady, and True Patriot is at the back. Around the first turn, and it's Exington, clear. 5-length advantage suddenly. Make it 6. Lady Lightsome is in 2nd, followed by With Love, patiently handled through the early going. 1.5 lengths to Sakura Flavor, 2 clear of Church Lady, and True Patriot is some 15 lengths off the loose leader, Exington, who's strutting her stuff past the half-mile pole with an ever-expanding lead. It's more than 8 lengths now. Lady Lightsome heads up the 2nd flight, followed by With Love, who's angled off the rail by Barrios and starts to close the gap now. At the rail, it's Church Lady with Sakura Flavor and another 4 to True Patriot. They're coming to the quarter pole. Exington's lead is down to 2 lengths. On the outside, With Love, stride for stride with Lady Lifesome trying to collar this front runner. True Patriot is unwinding from well back. White blinkers on the far outside. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Exington With Love. On the outside, Sakura Flavor is getting involved. Church Lady is in heavy traffic, almost went down there and comes through along the inside. Here comes Church Lady and Kazushi Kimura on the inside of Sakura Flavor. Sakura Flavor gets there under Juan Hernandez. Church Lady avoided a nightmare and ran a huge race in second. Then True Patriot, and fourth went to With Love. Up next, coming in. They're in the gate. And they're off in the San Pasquale. Getaway Car had a gorgeous beginning, goes straight to the front. Bartoldi comes away in second, and here's Westwood now sprinting up. Westwood wants the lead and gets it. Bartoldi will be second, and Getaway Car comfortably in third. Midnight Mammoth is fourth, and Ghazali at the back as they head to the 7-furlong pole. And it is Westwood who will show the way, leading by a length and a half. On the inside, Getaway Car, passed once again by Bartoldi, who's a clear-cut second, and Midnight Mammoth taken off the rail in fourth, 3 lengths off the lead, 3 clear of Ghazali. They swing on to the backstretch, and Westwood, the pacemaker, trying to slow things down as much as possible and doing a good job of it. Bartoldi is second. Midnight Mammoth now inches up a closer third. Getaway Car is fourth along the inside, but just 2 or so off the leader. And another couple back to Ghazali. They're heading to the half-mile pole in the San Pasquale. Kazushi Kimura and Westwood leading 3/4 of a length to Tyler Bays and Bartoldi. There's room at the rail for Getaway Car. And Getaway Car comes to re-engage Westwood, moving to the 3/8 pole. Midnight Mammoth is being pushed hard. He's now 3 lengths off the lead. Ghazali inside of him. Heading to the quarter pole, Westwood still holding firm on the front end. Has it 3/4 of a length to Getaway Car. Bartoldi is next. Ghazali trying to mount a bit, and then Midnight Mammoth there at the top of the stretch, and Westwood opens up again to lead it by 2. Getaway Car switches out for a final chance at Westwood, who's still full of run in mid-stretch. And Westwood by 3.5 past the 16th pole. A giant performance out of Westwood. An easy winner of the San Pasquale. Getaway Car was clearly second best. Bartoldi a distant third. Next, race 5, scratch 2, just a kick. And they're off. Maya Kama is out very nicely, straight to the front with Lady Mendelssohn flashing some early interest, and they're joined by Nancy Griffith in third. She's a Joker is in the 4th spot, followed by California Rocks, who's down at the rail. Then comes Apple Pie, and 3 more back to a reserved Quantum Energy. Around the first turn, Juan Hernandez has the favorite, Mayakama, in control. Leads it by 2 lengths, heading on to the backstretch with Nancy Griffith just in front of Lady Mendelssohn, second and third. Another 3 back to She's a Joker. California Rocks. Apple Pie is 5 lengths off them and 4 clear of Quantum Energy. Down the backstretch, it's Mayakama, just bounding along, cruising, in fact, by 2. Nancy Griffith in second. Lady Mendelssohn keeping pace along the rail, and Apple Pie has advanced to 4th, 3 lengths off the leaders. Then She's a Joker, California Rocks, Quantum Energy has trailed throughout. Mayakama takes him into the far turn, leading the way. Nancy Griffith gets a little nudge to get after her in second, and Apple Pie only a length and a half back third. Here's Quantum Energy, who was last moments ago, passing horses on the outside. She's a Joker is next. Lady Mendelssohn and California Rocks. Mayakama comes to the 8th pole. Short lead. Nancy Griffith in second. Quantum Energy keeps on coming on the outside. And Quantum Energy coming after this pair as She's a Joker slips through on the fence. Nancy Griffith takes the lead. Mayakama battles back. Here's the line. Oh, that's too close to call. Very tight. Nancy Griffith surged right at the end with Maya Kama. They hit the wire together. Then another battle between Quantum Energy and She's a Joker. Duntov, 3 Crude Velocity, and 6 Ruler of Law. Time on the board for race number 6 momentarily. And they're off, and Potente rockets out of there. And Captain Shreve comes away in good order. These two, 1-2. And Deep Tracks is 3 lengths behind in third. It's a big gap back to Cruisin' for Cali and Constitution Andy at the back of the field. Potente and Captain Shreve going at it in a tussle to the half-mile pole. 4 lengths back, Deep Tracks by himself in third, then Cruisin' for Cali. And another length and a half to Constitution Andy. They're coming to the 3/8 pole, Potente in hand, with Captain Shreve pressing the issue. Still 4 lengths back to Deep Tracks, 8 lengths in front of Cruisin' for Cali and Constitution Andy. They have a quarter of a mile to go. Potente and Captain Shreve. Those two arrive at the top of the stretch together. Deep Tracks in the center has 4 to make up. There's an 1/8 of a mile to run. Potente is now asked to kick on, leads it by a neck. Captain Shreve now a half length behind, and Potente leads by 2 past the 16th ball. Sharp performance out of him, and Captain Shreve, same could be said for him. Potente proves best. Captain Shreve second, Deep Tracks third, Cruisin' for Cali finish fourth. Movement there from Vibes. And they're off in the megahertz. Clean start. Princesa Moche and Going Lucky a little bit quicker. And on the outside, here's Baltic Fire moving into contention just outside of Will Then. They are followed by Public Assembly, who's racing one from the rail. My Perfect Wave in the pink silks has clear sailing to move through and take the third spot. That group is followed by Vibes. Baltic Fire is now behind her. 3 clear of Violetta M, and Sign No More is at the back. They move on to the backstretch, and it's Going Lucky leading the way. In hand, 3/4 of a length. Princesa Moche alongside second. Then My Perfect Wave. Public Assembly between horses. Will Then outside of them. These 5 covered by 3.5 lengths. It's another couple. Back to Vibes, right next to Baltic Fire. At the rails, Sign No More inches a little bit closer. And 2 to Violetta M. Into the far turn, it's Going Lucky in front. Now the lead is up to a length and a half, almost 2. Princesa Moche is in second. Then comes My Perfect Wave in third. Will Then. Baltic Fire's trying to make a bid while caught 4 wide, turning for home. They are at the top of the stretch, and the lead belongs to Going Lucky, still in front by 2. Princesa Moche. Will Then is next. Public Assembly behind them. Vibes coming to the 16th pole. Princesa Moche puts her head in front. Will Then is going with her. Princesa Moche, Will Then, and Vibes on the outside, driving finish. Princesa Moche has won the megahertz under a patient and perfect ride from Mirko de Muro. It's a photo between Vibes and Will Then. Up next, the late double, starting with the 8th. Scratch 3, march a time. Scratch 4, through it. We're in the gate. And they're off. Clean start. Cornucopian in the middle is out quickly. Our Heisman has some speed and is now up to battle for the lead. And here's Banyek kicking through at the rail along with Simple Song. So it's Simple Song in front. Banyek moves to engage. Our Heisman 2 off the pace in third. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy fourth. The heavy favorite Cornucopian gets a little nudge and responds by taking that fourth spot, advancing along the rail. At the back are Red Flag and See Through It trails. Banyek heads toward the 3/8 pole, leading 3 parts of a length to Simple Song in second. Cornucopian and Juan Hernandez at the rail, and R. Heisman right next to him, 3 lengths off the pace. It's another 3 back to Red Flag. On the outside comes See Through It and Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy. Cornucopian trying to get through, could not do so at the quarter pole, had to back off. Boniek in front. Now Cornucopian finds that spot, and he hugs the rail and kicks for home. Cornucopian, a minor setback, but he's opened up with authority as Red Flag moves into second. The sky is the limit for Cornucopian. Look at Juan Hernandez, not even asking him as he strolls in by 3. Red Flag second. Tight photo for third. Boniek over See Through It. And he stopped the clock in 1:15.3. Named for Frumpke Party, Day at the Races. The 9th offers super high 5-way drink scratch 1-4. In. And they're off. Kinsey's Charisma is very quick, but it's Counterbalance who's faster and up to take command. Larius on the outside is next, and they are followed by Getting Closer. She's Limitless is 5th, now 4th, moving up to be a joint 3rd. This group is followed by Soul Sister, who's 7 lengths off them. Then it's another length and a half back to the next flight, headed by Caves. As they pass the half-mile pole, Caves is now about 10 lengths off them, 3 lengths clear of a strung-out Mo Sasha, and it is a long way to Novita Dominga. Around the far turn, Kinsey's Charisma has been there throughout, pressed once again by Counterbalance, and a 3-wide Getting Closer is doing just that. It's another 3 lengths back. Caves is making some headway, while widest of all, they are at the top of the stretch, and Counterbalance is the new leader at the 8th pole. At the rail, Kinsey's Charisma is fighting bravely. In the center, here's Mo Sasha, and Mo Sasha is absolutely rolling. Counterbalance, though, has a 3-length lead. Mo Sasha, an eye-catching second. Counterbalance, another for Kimura. Mo Sasha finished second. Kinsey's Charisma, then it was between Soul Sister and Getting Closer to complete the super high 5.
They say time flies when you're having fun, and in my case, that must be the case, because can you believe it? Today is Sunday, February 1st. That's right. Turn the calendar page. We're already in month number 2 of 2026. And some breaking news here at St. Anita. It's an interesting piece of news as well. Earlier this morning, it was announced by Daily Racing Forum Steve Anderson that Florent Giroux is moving his tack from the fairgrounds right here to St. Anita. He's going to be riding starting this Friday, which is our next day of live racing, and he'll be represented by jockey agent Matt Nakatani. Somebody who is always ahead of the curve of breaking news is my seminar guest today. He's here each and every morning to benefit those of us who can't be here that early. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Great to be here, and day number 18, I believe, of the meet. And like you said, February 1st already.
Hard to believe. 1 week away from the big game. Of course, all eyes will be on that game, New England versus Seattle. Any early opinions on that game, Toby?
I'm maybe brainwashed by the obvious. That.
What do you mean maybe? Isn't that our world today? Are most of us brainwashed?
Yeah, I mean, everybody said whoever won the Seattle game, that was like the Super Bowl, right?
Correct.
So it kind of stuck with me.
I got you. So Seattle's your pick 7 days away from the big game. Keep in mind, on Big Game Sunday, next Sunday, first post here at St. Anita will be 11 a.m., I should say, Pacific time. That's way down the road. Toby, before we take a look at today's card, let's take a look back at a couple of Bob Baffert runners from yesterday. Specifically, his first-time starter, Potente, in race number 6, cost $2.4 million. A son of Into Mischief, Bob had 3 originally entered in the race. He scratched down to just Potente. Before I get your thoughts on his performance, let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action as they turn for home.
Potente and Captain Shreve, those two arrive at the top of the stretch together. Deep Tracks in the center has 4 to make up. There's an 1/8 of a mile to run. Potente is now asked to kick on, leads it by a neck. Captain Shreve now a half length behind, and Potente leads by 2 past the 16th ball. Sharp performance out of him, and Captain Shreve, same could be said for him.
Go TQ.
Toby, you know, when the connections pay $2.4 million, they're not looking to win necessarily a 6-furlong sprint. And in the post-race interviews, Bob Baffert was surprised how much early speed Potente showed in his debut. Were you surprised by his early speed, and do you think he's a serious 3-year-old?
I really wasn't surprised by the speed at all. The horse has a pretty massive hip on him. But the interesting thing to me was, if you just take the race going in, Hernandez worked that horse every week, and he wasn't on the horse.
Cascabura was.
So he chose to ride the horse that got scratched, and I thought that was interesting.
Do you think the horse that was scratched perhaps is more talented than Potente?
Well, the horse that got scratched only had 2 works over the track, but they counted. I mean, the gate workout that he had by far was just a jaw-dropping workout. I was really looking forward to watching him run. The word on the street is he got sick, but I hope he's okay and comes back really soon. Speaking
of jaw-dropping, 2 races later in race number 8, there was another Bob Baffert runner who had started before, who was coming back off the comeback trail. His name was Cornucopian. He had some trouble turning for home. Once again, let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch Cornucopian in saddlecloth number 5.
Cornucopian trying to get through, could not do so at the quarter pole, had to back off, Boniek in front. Now Cornucopian finds that spot, and he hugs the rail and kicks for home. Cornucopian, a minor setback, but he's opened up with authority as Red Flag moves into second. The sky is the limit for Cornucopian. Look at Juan Hernandez, not even asking him, as he strolls in by 3.
Go ahead.
Toby, 109 and change for the 6-furlong split, 115 and change the final time for 6.5. I always like to say, Toby, that always trust your eyes. And as we watch the gallop out, I mean, that's somewhat breathtaking.
Well, there's an old expression I actually love. It's called tapes don't lie, but numbers do. So in that case, you can see that. Now, the interesting thing there is not only did he do that, but he almost went down. I mean, that was scary stuff coming into the head of the stretch there. And ironically enough, walking in, I saw J.J. Hernandez walking into the whatever they call this room down here where the ambulance stuff is. He had to be literally scared out of his skin, and maybe he's just now recovering.
Sure. Were you expecting that type of performance for Cornucopian off the layoff? He was the favorite in the Arkansas Derby, disappointed, which is why they had to put him on the shelf. But that comeback race was something to really take notice of going forward in 2026.
No question. I mean, he was explosive. Until they explode, you don't know if they're going to explode. So he ran giant, and we'll see where he shows up next.
Speaking of exploding, I know you've been out here since the crack of dawn this morning. Maybe one or two works that maybe caught your eye this morning, Toby?
Yeah, well, it was very interesting last 2 days, actually. We had 500 workers between yesterday and today.
When are the workers going to enter the entry box?
Well, you know what? That's the question we're all sitting here wondering. Maybe Friday.
I sure hope so.
Right?
So of those 500, which were one or two that kind of caught your eye?
Well, you can single out your 2-year-old filly champion, Super Corridoria. What a filly she is. I mean, it's very, very rare that you see a horse where you don't even have to watch the workout. She comes out and just makes it look so absolutely natural and routine and goes 47 flat, 59 flat. It's only because she has some of the best mechanics you'll ever find. I mean, on any horse, honestly. And that's why she's exciting. But anytime she comes out on the track, to me now, she kind of steals the show. We had interesting horse. You have a full brother, I believe it is, to Brickyard Ride named King's Ride that worked out of the gate, very close to getting ready to run and make that big debut effort.
Is he in the Craig Lewis barn?
He sure is. In fact, I think Craig Lewis is the part breeder of the horse. So that'll be interesting. He's got speed, got a lot of speed. So that'll be interesting to see when he shows up. And a horse called Shady Tiger for Phil D'Amato. This horse is really, in fact, Shady Tiger, I'm just thinking of this now, actually tied in with Westwood, who won huge yesterday.
Sure did for John Sheriff's in race number 4.
I'm just thinking of this now. I mean, this could really be, we're onto something here. The horses came down the stretch together in their final work, and Shady Tiger looks like a horse that we'll keep our eye on as well.
CRK Stables and John Sheriff's, of course, the connections for Westwood. Also the connections for Baeza, and I believe he's on the comeback trail. He just had a very slow routine 3-furlong workout earlier this week. Were you able to see that one, Toby?
Oh, yeah. You just you didn't even know he was working. I mean, the exercise rider was up, just standing straight up in the saddle. But look happy out there.
Looks like Toby Turrell is never working, but don't fool yourself. He's working 24/7, that's for sure, both in the morning and in the afternoon. If you want to glean some of his knowledge, make sure you check out the website, CaseTheRace.com. That's where you can find his daily workout report, as well as his selections for every race day here at the Great Race Place. We're going to take a quick time out, toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati. There's just only 2 scratches that I know of in race number 6. We're going to find out if, in fact, that's true. When we resume, we'll find out who Toby likes. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place, where the track is fast and the turf is firm. The rail on the turf is out 20 feet. Here are the early changes. No scratches in race 1. Starting the early pick 5, as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3. That's on races 1, 3, 5 today. Same story in race number 2, which kicks off the early pick 4. The third will start the pick 6 on races 3 through 8. There are no changes. Fourth race, first leg of the late pick 5. No changes. And the fifth starts the late pick 4. No changes. In the 6th, scratch 1, Cool Tap Dancer, and 5, Morello, the 2 scratches Mr. Quigley just referenced. That is the start of the late pick 3, race 6. 7th, 1 Strong Morals, 2 pounds over, and 7 Little Tinker L, 2 pounds over. And in the 8th, which offers super high 5 wagering, just the one blinker no. Those are the changes on today's program. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. As I told the gentleman who asked me for a selection or two on the way in, the man with Tom today is a lot better than I am. And that is Toby Turrell. Here's the coast-to-coast pick 5 sequence. Starts with Gulfstream's 8th, low 15% takeout, retail only, and some extraordinary payouts since this bet was introduced. Toby and Tom coming up next to resume the seminar.
Welcome back. It's the TNT team. That's right. Toby Turrell with myself, Tom Quigley. Delighted you decided to join us on a Sunday morning here on the West Coast. Certainly, hopefully, you're staying nice and warm and dry wherever you might be. Of course, here in Southern California, weather conditions don't need to be spoken for. It's fast and firm, as you could probably predict. Toby, before we take a look at today's 8-race card, it was also announced, I believe, a day or two ago that Nisos from the Bob Baffert Barn is going to travel to Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Cup, which I believe is going to be run on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Have you seen Nisos train in preparation for his trip overseas?
Well, Nisos, he worked yesterday in 59 flat, and like I said about Sadler's filly, Nisos will not be a machine out there every week, but most of the time he is. And he went the last 3 furlongs in 35 flats. Going 59 flats is, again, making it look routine. He's such a massive, powerful horse now, and they better have their shoes on to run against him. I don't care where he runs in the world next.
Race number 1, Toby, kicks off today's 8-race card. Not only does it begin the 50-cent early pick 5, but because we just have 3 turf races today, it also begins the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. The turf rails today are at 20 feet. The distance of race 1 is 1 1/8 miles on the turf course. It's a starter allowance race. We've got a field of 6. Take note. The trainer of number 2, Poor Connection, is Michael McCarthy. Happy 55th birthday, Whitey. Michael McCarthy celebrating a birthday today. But the morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 4-5 is the runner on the bottom from the George Papadromo barn, number 6, City Exile. Give us your thoughts on race 1, Toby.
Yeah, well, City Exile, last time out, I loved this horse, and I knew he was loaded for bear. And if you watch the race, he was. And Umberto Rispoli ran into a literal blind switch and had to take him up off stride. He still came back and made it close. But maybe a timely claim here by a hot trainer, Georgie Papadromo. J.J. Hernandez will step into the saddle today here on this trouble-prone horse. But the one horse I think is the horse to beat for Jonathan Thomas, who I actually spoke to this morning, ironically enough. He was asking about nearly the Big Holy Bull winner yesterday, and I said very simply that horse is a freak, and happen to know firsthand that he is because I've watched every workout he's had for the last couple of months, and very exciting. But with all that said, he's training the one horse in here, Time Song, and this horse had a legitimate excuse last time as well. Very slow start, wasn't ready at all for the break. Got kind of collared up on the lead, legitimate pace, and actually was coming back at the end, rebidding, if you will. So he's in good shape. He's been working in solid fashion all along. He's a formidable horse indeed, but 6-1 for me to kick it off.
Toby, some follow-up questions, and I'm sure you know the what I'm about to say, but the Dam of Nearly, if you were to go and look in DRF Formulator, you'll recall, courtesy of our good friend Larry Zapp, who pointed it out to me, and then I confirmed it via Formulator, that the Dam of Nearly actually ran here in Southern California, both for Pete Urton and David Hoffman's. She wasn't much, she didn't have much ability, but boy, what a broodmare dam she's become.
That's an understatement. Yeah, I kind of, it's not going to say like yesterday, but I do remember the horse running here. Very fast horse. And that's what makes this horse so interesting, Nearly. As we all know, the horse showed a lot of speed yesterday, which wasn't really expected. So now he seems to have it all. But yeah, I was made aware of who bought the mother of this horse, believe me, right after he knew this horse was a runner.
And speaking of pedigree, your second selection in race number one, Time Song, is sired by Not This Time. I don't think there's a hotter stallion anywhere in North America right now, is there?
And how long have we been saying that? That's the amazing thing. That it's one thing to have a hot flash. I think Vekoma went on a big roll there, but Not This Time did the same thing. But the difference is now everywhere you look, you're still seeing Not This Time, and that's pretty phenomenal.
And then a final question for race number one, Toby, the jockey number 4, Sketchy, Mr. Jaramillo. What a positive impression he's made in a short amount of time here in Southern California.
Well, another, he saw Doug O'Neill walking into workouts a few days ago, talked about Frezu, talked about him. And I said, yeah, he started out in your barn, but now he's in every barn but yours. And you got a kick out of that. But, maybe that's the angle here with Matt Nakatani. He said, hey, you know what? Maybe I can try this. If he has 10% of the success, I think he'll be happy.
And you mentioned Antonio Frezu. He's due to return riding the races here in Southern California this upcoming weekend, which is obviously great news for both him and all of us. Race number 2, Toby, begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we are traveling 1 mile on the main track. It's for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies, a field of 5. Number 3, Wolf Hill from the Leonard Powell barn is the 8-5 morning line favorite. 5 ways you can go here. Which way you going and why?
Yeah, I'm going right to her. Boy, she's really a stone cold runner, this little filly, Wolf Hill. I love watching horses like this train. It's really why I enjoy it every bit as much today as I did when I started. Watching just genuine racehorses, I call them stone cold runners, that just love to run, and you can see it every which way you look at them. And if you look at the running lines on this filly, she has run, maybe 2 or 3 winning races. It's just that she's hasn't quite had the right trip. Last time she did everything but win, and she was really rank. I didn't think she would rebid like she did, but she's a runner, and I hope she wins today for all the connections. The one in here, Luckiest, really improved over the turf, though, this filly. Flavian Pratt was in town that day, second day of our racing meet, and had trouble. Took up cold entering the lane and still came back and really kind of made it close nearing the wire. That race was on turf, but the improvement is noted. So speaking of hot jockeys, you got the hottest in the saddle here in Mr. Kimura.
Kaz Kimura, as you mentioned, our leading jockey. Congratulations up to this point to both he and his agent, Brian Beach, who both do a fantastic job. Couple follow-up questions for you, Toby, in race number 2. Let's start with your second selection, number 1, Luckiest. Interesting to see since her last race, her workouts have been in Los Alamitos. That's very atypical of Bob Baffert. He knows how demanding this main track is, and he normally tries to get workouts in over this track. Is that any reason for pause for Luckiest?
Well, I don't think so, just because I think she's improved. But, interestingly enough, there may be something to it. Los Alamitos is notorious for being kind of comparable to turf horses. And turf horses run very well at Los Al. So that could be a little angle there.
And we've seen both John Sadler and some other trainers use, and Phil D'Amato, I should say, use Los Alamitos as a training ground for some of their runners that debut on the turf course here at Santa Anita. Of course, race number 2 on the main track. The other follow-up question relates to a runner you didn't mention, Toby, and that's the runner on the bottom, number 5, Bonsai Betty. She gets Maldonado for the first time, and they put blinkers on. She's had one work since her most recent afternoon start in January 2nd. Did you see that work, and do you think she's going to show any more early speed today?
Yeah, the work was very unserious. She is a very light-made horse, very light and leggy. So therefore, I'm not so sure that whatever they do with her or for her is really going to give her much intrinsic speed. I just don't think she has it. But she can run some. And Maldonado, is definitely a jockey that can get some speed out of a horse.
On today's 8-race card, race number 3 begins the $2 pick 6, and we kick off the $2 pick 6, sprinting 6 furlongs on the flat turf course. This is for $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. A field of 6, number 3, Mutt Dillon is a first-time gelding. Morning line favorite, drawn right inside of him. Number 2, B. Grayson, who's 8-5 on the morning line. William Pyle, a jockey in from overseas, from England, trying to enjoy his winter here and learn some tricks of the trade. Do you like B. Grayson in race 3? You're looking elsewhere, Toby.
I think B. Grayson has a good, well, it's not just me. It's your morning line as well that says so at 8-5 favorite. But the gelding right next door here, every day is Saturday. Tell you what, there's such a beautiful symmetry and almost simulation to life these days as I'm getting older. But last night I happened to catch, somebody posted on social media a replay of Vigors right here at Santa Anita. It just brought back chills and memories of a lot of endless memories here at Santa Anita. But Vigors was just so, they called him the White Tornado for a reason. But boy, every time he came by, you were just struck by his color. And then to watch him do what he did, it just it was fascinating. But this reminds me of Vigors. You take a look at this one horse in here, every day is Saturday. This is a beautifully just snow white gelding with a heart as big as the track. He really a game horse. And his last workout was in the dark, and you couldn't hardly see, but he was so white. It's like it looked like an orb coming through the sky there, and he's razor sharp. So boy, I hope that heart and maybe the right jockey here in the saddle, the high riding Kimura, all comes together for this gelding. Love to see Tim McKenna get a winner here at the meet. Very good horseman. And I think we'll get a decent price here. B. Grayson, the horse you mentioned, will be, I believe, the favorite. And he's been running good races. Now looks like he's finally improved and comes in off the win. So I'm going 1-2 here in the third.
Those of you who are watching and have the past performances in front of you, I redirect you to Toby's comments about number 1, every day is Saturday. Take a look at his maiden special weight victory back in January of 2024 at Golden Gate. Basically trailed the field and got up almost in the shadow of the wire to win at odds of, I should say, to finish second at odds of 3-1, and then came back the next time with another electrifying late run at the same 5.5 furlong distance. So every day is Saturday. Certainly a late running threat in race number 3. Toby, a follow-up question for you on number 5. Aloha Chrome, 20-1 on the morning line. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but hasn't been seen in the afternoon since December of 2024. Have you seen any of these most recent works here at Santa Anita for the comebacker Aloha Chrome?
Yeah, I've seen them all. Jeff Bondi definitely he likes to train his horses on the stiff side. Now, I have not seen anything from this guy to show me that he's a race ready to win off of a layoff that is rather large here. Also moving on to the turf for the first time. Be rather shocked if this guy pulled this off.
Race number 4 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. Maiden claiming Calbred, 3-year-olds in for a $20,000 tag, a good field of 8. Number 1, Joker Went Wild, taking the ultimate drop down in class from maiden special weight. 2, Maiden Claiming is the 3-2 morning line favorite for trainer Brian Corner and owner Legacy Ranch. Our good friends Pete and Ev Perella are hopefully going to be on track today. Will we see them in the winner's circle after race 4?
Well, I hope so. I go all the way back with Pete, back to the good old days of Griswold, and even before that, back at Los Alamitos, where I really cut my teeth in the game, first with the harness and then with the quarter horses. And
how did harness horse buggies fit on the Los Alamitos main track? That defies logic.
Right? Isn't that wild? They did. And
you were there to witness it.
I saw it all happen. And this horse, I'm hoping it's easy as he gets out to the lead. This is who I like, by the way. Joker Went Wild. The jockey is very interesting here. Caesar Belmont, Derek Lawson representing him, and I talked to him about this jockey, and he said he's got a work ethic as big as the track. I know he's great with horses out of the gate and getting. I've already seen that early on. He rode a horse for Pete Miller right out of the gate back in November.
At Del Mar?
Yeah, at Del Mar. And he's great at getting horses out of the gate, and especially when they have speed, like the speed edge, I should say, like this colt should have. So he's also got a beautiful Mercedes, I guess, that he's got to pay for. He was very open about that in a press release somewhere.
Is that Derek or Caesar?
Caesar.
Okay, just checking.
He likes fast horses and fast cars.
A lot of jockeys do.
Right? That's nothing new there.
Not a bad daily double.
Right? So I think the obvious horse to beat in here for me is on the outside, Kiki Ride. This horse also has speed, showed it last time out. And I don't believe this horse will be 9-2. I'll go on record with that right now. He was in the 12 post last time. He's outside again today, but not in the 12 post. He was hooked out there and had to go wide and showed a lot of heart. He was coming back at the end. So a formidable contender there. 1 and 8 for me in race 4.
Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies. Another good field of 8. Field D'Amato trains 2 in here, including the Maury Lane favorite on the bottom. Number 8, Silky Savvy, who scratched out of yesterday's last race. Mr. Jaramillo in the saddle. This is a really good race, Toby. I really like some of the pedigree and some of the running lines on these runners. Of course, we obviously honor and remember the memory of Jeff Siegel, whose estate owns number 3, Surfing USA. I'm sure you and Mr. Siegel had a lot of conversations over the last many decades.
You know, I ran into Jeff, believe it or not, when I was in Kentucky. My 2 years that I spent there, and he was on the road to cover the Derby naturally, and we talked over matters there. You know, believe it or not, Jeff actually goes back with my dad in a big way. And in the case, I always tell everybody, my dad, in my eyes, and as far as the resume goes, he's the dean of Southern California. And if Jeff were here today, he'd vouch for that. Jeff used to, talking about the harness racing, Jeff used to talk to my dad about getting insight into the harness or whatever he could. And my dad tells great stories about Jeff all the way back to day one. But I'd love to see this horse show up, this filly, and get a good trip. She didn't get a good trip last time, Surfing USA. In very tight, slammed around. And hopefully that doesn't happen again today. It's a wide open race. Now, ironically enough, we wished Michael McCarthy a happy 55th birthday.
How's he that old already, by the way? Not that that's old, but you know what I mean? Time flies.
Well, he's so old he doesn't want to be called Whitey anymore, so that tells you right there. But
Michael is the proper pronunciation.
Right, but you know, but basically this is an interesting filly. Now, I mean, she comes from Churchill Downs with very intriguing workouts there on paper, and then they decided somewhere along the way to bring her out here to run her on the turf. That's obviously the angle. She looks like a turf filly, no question about that. Uncle Moe's will relish the turf when they run their big races. J.J. Hernandez story was good enough for him and Craig O'Brien to take them out here. I'm very intrigued with this horse, this filly, and I think she's got the winning race in her right off the plane. We shall see. We're getting a big price, win or lose here at 6-1. Surfing USA will be hopefully running at the end and running in the lane, and I'm going to be hoping for a 6-3 exacta here today.
Breeder of number 6, Fancy Lady, is Hillendale Equine Holdings, one of their main employees and main stalwarts at the farm there in Kentucky. Jess Sakura was on track here yesterday at St. Anita. Good to see him and his entire family continue to support Southern California racing. Race number 6 begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. This time we're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs. It's a starter allowance race for those runners who have started for a claiming price of $6,250 or less, either last year or this year. This is the race where there are 2 scratches. Scratch the 1 and the 5 leaves us with a field of 6. Number 7, the cleverly named the Big Cheeseola, is the 5-2 Maury Line favorite. Another runner with a bit of a late kick. You think he'll get up in time, or are you looking elsewhere, Toby?
Well, Carol's Comic here on the outside ran a gigantic race here at the in October at the Oak Tree Meet, as we call it. That race right there, if he runs that race, he'll win. Question is, will he? And of course, in trying to answer that question, I lean on the workouts, and the workouts are sharp. Tyler Bays has been up on this horse a couple of times. He's come out in the dark to work this horse a couple of times. He's got the good freshening here, if you will. A couple of months, should have the old legs fresh at 7 years old. So I look for hopefully the winning race out and causing an upset here of sorts with Carroll's Comic. I do believe with the scratches and everything else that the horse right next door, the Big Cheezola, is going to take some beating here from a speed standpoint. I think this horse is going to be clear on the lead today. And might be hard to run down, but I'm going to go with hopefully the upset here, 8 and 7 in race number 6.
Race number 7 is another relatively new and popular wager. It begins the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout. The pool sizes in these late wagers with the reduced takeout have been ginormous. Yesterday's late daily double pool was close to $200,000. So thanks to each and every one of you for your wagering support. We kick off the $5 late daily double today in race number 7, sprinting 5.5 furlongs once again on the main track for 3-year-old fillies. $20,000 is the claiming tag. A number of these are first-time Lasix users, including number 5, Darling Sugaree from the Jeff Mullins barn, 3-2 on the morning line. What say you about race 7, Toby?
Yeah, well, it's a good competitive race, and therefore I can't take the short number on the favorite. I'm going to try to go with the outside filly in here, Tiger Lady, getting Lasix as well for Andy Mathis. And I think you can just throw the last race out. She was slammed off her feet at the start. I think they just took care of her at that point. I think she's a dirt horse through and through. So she trained very well on the dirt going into that turf race. I think that's our angle here. And good outside draw. She shouldn't really have any trouble today. I think she'll be in a stalking position. I like number 4, Final Table Lady, almost for similar reasons. She's not a turf filly either, and they ran her in the Cal Cup Oaks. So you can hopefully draw a line through that. Boy, she stopped badly, but she was training in way above par fashion going into that race, and she will bring a lot of dangerous speed to the table here today. So 8 and 4, hoping for a little upset here in race number 7.
Question for you, Toby. In race number 7, it relates to number 1, the filly Strong Morals, who we haven't seen since Breeders' Cup weekend down at Del Mar. We know she's got a lot of early speed. She adds Lasix today. She's been working in a relatively steady pattern here at the Great Race Place. Have you seen her morning works, and what do you think of them?
Yeah, her works are just kind of even, if you will. Now she is an interesting filly. You can see first time out that Tiger Lady beat her, but that's not really the story. I mean, this filly was obviously highly regarded to go into the race, and I loved her that day at 90 cents on the dollar, and she just lost it in the paddock, lost it on the track. She literally left the race and then some on the track. Now, a couple of months later, she showed up here to Santa Anita and forgot and had that experience, and somehow was still a handful, but nothing like she was, and then goes back down to Del Mar and ran in the stake race. So I guess you can just, keep it that simple. But boy, she stopped bad again. So she, being on the rail, she's going to have to get out of there. She's going to have to get clear. I don't believe she will pass horses today.
Race number 8, we conclude the day and we conclude the week offering $1 super high five wagering. 6 furlongs in the main track for Calbred fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types. A good field of 13 here. Number 12, Miss Practical is the 3-1 morning line favorite. Toby, before we get your thoughts on the race, we want to watch a replay that includes Miss Practical in this particular replay we're about to watch. As a matter of fact, 5 of the 13 runners in today's 8th race exit this replay we're about to watch. But we're going to focus on Miss Practical. This race was back on opening day, December 28th, right here at Santa Anita. She's going to break from post position number 3 B. She's going to have the gold silks on. She's going to be relatively near the back of the pack. She puts in a ferocious late run and also has trouble on the far turn as well. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on December 28th and watch Miss Practical wearing the gold silks and saddlecloth number 3.
And they're off. Timekeeper's Charm in the center of the racetrack is going out for the lead with Sexy Blue vying for a piece of it. Cayucos is in the mix through the opening furlong, moves up now to take second. Diva Cat is outside of them, now third. Then Wish They All Could Be. Sexy Blue, who broke well, is now dropping back. They are followed by Rizzleberry Rose, Cloudy Rose, and Honey Bucket is in that group too. Down at the rail comes Brookie's Gal. Miss Practical is 6 lengths off the lead, while racing in between rivals heading into the far turn. Just outside of her comes Clubhouse Bride. It's a break of 3. Back to Sexy Blue. Perfect Life is now second to last, and that leaves Buds and Suds at the back of a strung-out field. They're coming to the quarter pole, and Wish They All Could Be is making a 3-wide bid to come battling with Cayucos. Timekeeper's Charm is down at the rail. Back to third. Rizzleberry Rose is in fourth. They're at the top of the stretch, and Wish They All Could Be has the lead. Cayucos head-and-head with Timekeeper's Charm on the outside. A late run from Diva Cat trying to get into it, as is Miss Practical, who's finishing best of the rest, but no match for Wish They All Could Be, and Mirko DeMuro scoring by 3. Miss Practical was second.
Toby, Wish They All Could Be was a hard-knocking mare from the Hector Palma barn who got claimed that day. But as we watch the gallop out, there's our friend Miss Practical. Doesn't make any of us who backed her at 3-1 as the favorite that afternoon feel very good, but she certainly is going to fire, I think, big again today, and I think you feel the same way.
Oh, no question. I loved her that day, and she ran a giant race. We just all watched that together, and now she's on the far outside, a little farther out than perhaps you'd want to be in a 13-horse race, but I just hope that she doesn't bounce, honestly. They really backed off of her in the workouts, wisely so. She ran so big that day off of a layoff and all that, but I got to go back to her. That race was loaded with contention, and there were a lot of traffic, better than look trips in that race. One of them was from the number 5 Clubhouse Bride. A very, very sneaky big race that she ran again for Andy Mathis. And if she repeats that race, I think she's going to outrun her odds in a giant way. So what a race. I mean, this is a great race to end off the week with. Should be a great betting race, great end to the day. And I'm going to go 12-5. To try to hit this exacta.
Toby, it's always a great seminar whenever I have you as my seminar guest. Thanks so much for joining us, giving us your time and insight. If you want Toby selections and workout analysis on a daily basis, go to casetherace.com. And before you go, just a couple of quick reminders. The $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5 in play once again today. Did you see the payout on Friday? Over $10,000. Today's sequence begins in roughly 50 minutes. It starts with Gulfstream Park race number 8 for the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5. And similarly, the $1 Sunset Pick 6 combines the last 3 races from Gulfstream Park with the last 3 races here at the Great Race Place. We have a 3-day race week next week, Friday, Saturday, and big game Sunday. Expect post times to be 12:30 p.m. Pacific time Friday and Saturday, and as I mentioned earlier, 11 a.m. on big game Sunday. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.